Everybody, hi. Okay, my dear student, welcome, my dear student. Welcome, 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 welcome. So, my lesson today is civics in the area of negative aspect of cultural value. In the area of negative aspect of cultural value. So, I hope that my student, you will get my information, whatever culture you can get from there. And on the other hand, at the end of this lesson, our lesson, you will be able to learn and to know, or to get, or to conceptualize the concept of culture and cultural values. You can know it at the end of this lesson. But also, my student, you are going to identify at the end of the lesson what are the negative aspects of culture. What are the negative aspects of culture, cultural values? You see, and through these cultural values, you can see a lot of things you can learn, and very important things. You can explain. Ways to be taken against those negative cultural value in our societies. You can see it, and you can explain through your student, your fellow student, your parents, or whatever. Concerning culture, it refers to those core principles. There are sort core principles in culture, you can see, and the ideas upon which an entire community exists. This is culture. Confer all principles, all core principles and ideas where the community exists. For example, in a part of culture, for example, when you see some customs. You can see some traditionals, you can see some beliefs, and many others. Those are components of culture. So other people say that culture is a total way of life. It means that everything in our life is a culture. So, who can mention any negative cultural practice in societies? Who can mention? I just pose the question to you. Who can mention? Who can mention? Yes, yeah. Another way? Yeah. Thank you very much. You mentioned it. Thank you very much, my dear student. So, now let us identify and explain the negative aspect of culture. You mentioned, so I try to go with those you have mentioned from there. Concerning the negative aspect of culture, we can see in our culture there are something which is positive, there are other things which is so negative. There are positive and negative. So we are looking at those important things are positive, negative impact of culture. The one is female genital mutilation. You know female genital mutilation? Female genital mutilation, in other words, in short, it's called FGM, is the one. Female genital mutilation is the cutting of female private part. So when you cut off private part of the female, which lead to excess bleeding, which can cause death, it is the female genital mutilation. In many societies, they're doing this, but in Zanzibar, we're not doing this. Some societies are doing this. And other problems during delivery. So when you cut off those places, the women may have the problem maybe may lead to death, but also there are some problem during delivery. FGM is practiced in some societies. Some societies in Tanzania or other places, they practice FGM. For example, the place like Mara, the place like Manyara, the place like what? The place like Dodoma regions and other places in Tanzania, they practice female genital mutilation. The other places in Africa also they practices female genital mutilation. So it's very problematic. It is negative cultural aspect of culture because of the problem leading from this action. Another important thing is forced marriage. Forced marriage also is other things. Forced marriage result into conflict in many societies. How you can force women to get married? Do you like to get forced? Yes. Especially when one of the couple is not ready to get married. So the case of marriage must have reconciliation between two parties, whether male or female. You have to have a reconciliation consult. Then you can engage in marriage without maybe confrontation, whatever. So another important thing is the widow. Widow inheritance is very common also. Widow inheritance is also another negative cultural aspect of culture or negative cultural values practicing in many societies. In Tanzania or other places. Some societies, they practice this situation. So what I want to remind you, when widow inheritance is practiced in your places or in whatever societies, may increase the spread of HIV/AIDS. HIV/AIDS may increase due to this problem of widow inheritance. There must be consultation before getting this incident. Another one is the restriction of women from eating certain types of food. Some women are restricted in many societies or in some societies to eating certain type of food. This food is called food taboo, concerning food taboo. This is another negative cultural aspect in many societies. There are some societies that practice this. They tell that female, before delivery, when you get pregnancy, you are not allowed to eat such kind of food. For example, egg. For example, some of them meat. Some of them maybe vegetable or whatever. There are some societies restrict women, only pregnant female women, from eating certain type of food. Such food like eggs. Some societies, they restrict women to eat fish, to eat some sort like chicken or whatever. It is called negative aspect of culture. And in many times, if they are not getting this type of food, they lose immunity. Another one, killing elders. Killing elders also, concerning killing elders is another problems. Killing elders in albinos, in many days it come normally issues, but now the government tried a lot to make sure that those people are living safety and peace. Due to superstition, belief, resulting to killing innocent people, and it is against the human right. It is really against the human right. Why you want to kill? Why you kill him? Everyone has the right to live according to our constitution, according to our right. So how some people engage in those killing those people, even elders, they're rearing us, and how are you going to kill them? Another thing is early marriage. Early marriage also is a negative aspect, cultural aspect of value. In here, early marriage here, some girls are married at tender age, which brings a lot of problem to them. You're not maybe grown up enough to get married, maybe 15 years, 16 years, they are engaging to get married. And sometimes male and female, they are engaging before the time of decision. Some of girls find a lot of complication during delivery when it got a problem. So even married, not including forcing. Married, not including forcing. Married, you have to consulting people before getting married. And the age is very important before going further, before even the organs are ready for delivery or whatever. My dear student, also there are various ways against negative aspect of cultural value. How to overcome those problems of negative cultural value, such as what I can say, when you see those problems happen in our societies, you have to find the problems, the issues, how to overcome those problems. Like for example, formation of women social organization. I think you have in our societies, many social organizations are around it, are organized, are established so as to solve those problems. So access in political matters and things, this is very important. And also you can provide equal opportunities for both male and female in our societies. Those we can see can help them. How can help to solve those problems or negative cultural value. Another one is prohibition of all cultural practices and customs. We have to restrict. That the government try a lot to make sure that those people living maybe elders are living in peace. There is no any confrontation about them. Gender mainstreaming is another things, but also the government has establishment of different programs where can help those group of people live in safety in the communities and solving those problems facing. Another one is increasing educational opportunities. This is very important thing, my dear student. So when you increase those opportunities, it means that you're getting the point that they can be aware and solving those problems I've mentioned, and solving facing those groups in a society. So let us look each of them. We have mentioned. Do you remember what we have mentioned? You remember what we have mentioned. Way forward. You know way forward. a way to solve them. Okay, let us start from the establishment of women's social organization. You know social organization? You know it, yeah, social organization. So here in our societies, they try to establish those social organizations. Those organizations help a lot to fight against those problems. What a problem? The problem of negative cultural aspect, cultural values. Here it means when social group is organized or is established, is there in the communities, maybe in Zanzibar or Tanzania mainland or wherever, or in your place, wherever you live. It is very, very significant, those social group, because it's a way against the native aspect of culture. It is a way against. They are working together with those people who are facing those problems. Those social organizations established in Tanzania. In Tanzania, there are organizations like, we have WAMA. WAMA is very important organization. The other organization, WAMA means wanawake na maendeleo. Wanawake na maendeleo. Another important things have established to help women is TAWLA, something like TAWLA. TAWLA means Tanzania Women Lawyer Association. Tanzania Women Lawyer Association. Can you repeat? Tanzania Women Lawyer Association. Good. Another organization, social organization like TGNP. TGNP means what? Tanzania Gender Networking Program. Tanzania Gender Networking Program. This is also another things have been established so as to fight those problems against the people. Another one, provision of the other one is provision of equal opportunity. Equal opportunity from both male and female have to be given equal opportunity so as to help them in fighting against those problems that thwarted their development. Another one, so the government has to ensure that women receive equal opportunity as men. If there's opportunity, maybe in working, maybe in business, maybe in other activities, maybe in social activities, maybe in political activities, or even cultural activities, as well as economic activities, those opportunities has to be given equally in both sexes, whether male or female. Especially for female, has to be equal opportunities, because for many times women lost these opportunities. So that's why they have to give in priority. Let's talk another things, equal opportunities. So when you talk about equal opportunity, my dear student, here the government of Tanzania has to provide equal opportunities in both sexes for male and female. See, if male having opportunities, maybe in education, even the female has to have it. Here it means that the women has to have those opportunities. Women receive equal opportunity as men. As men. For example, in terms of health services, in terms of education, in terms of political whatever. In the area of life, such as maybe political and economic issues, has to be even equal opportunities, because in some families, women are not allowed maybe to participate in a business or whatever, even though they have ability to work on it. So equal opportunities should be provided in education, in education, in business, in political leadership, and also in case of employment opportunities. When you see maybe in one institution, maybe they employed only men and they reject female, it is not good, it's not fair. It is not fair. It is against me from the will of the constitution we have. Also, the promotion of some cultural practices, we have to prohibit, of some cultural practices where they devastate, they distort the women development. The government also should commit itself to the prohibition of cultural practices, those negative cultural practices and customs. As far as we have seen there, those cultural practices that seems to oppress women. Women are oppressing because of those culture. So we have to commit ourselves so as to make sure women also giving those opportunities, and those cultural and bad cultural have to be abandoned in our societies. For example, the female genital mutilation. So this practice is bad because we have already seen how bad it is. Another thing is polygamy. If you are not allowed, you have no ability to practice it, you are not allowed to do it. Another one is forced marriage, and also early marriage. We have already talked about it. I think you have some information about it. So those cultural practices that bad in our societies, that seem to be distorted from some group, has to be abandoned. Fourthly, another way of overcoming the problem of gender cultural value, negative cultural values, is gender mainstreaming. Here, it implies all programs concerning gender and concerning cultural value, those negative issues has to be enforced via the gender mainstreaming. It has to be in all level. Again, under gender mainstreaming, it means all activities like policy development. Those policy concerning development, maybe in education, in economics, in whatever, has to be related to gender or women rights. Another thing is through research, and the dialogue, different dialogue made by the people has to consider those cultural issues. Also, legislation. It means that the organs which making the law of the countries has to make sure that there is equality between male and female in the societies. The people who are dealing with planning in the countries also has to consider the gender, the cultural values that are not acceptable in the societies. Monitoring of the programs and the project address gender equality. All of things concerning policy or whatever, planning or whatever, has to consider the issues of culture that violate the human rights, like FGM. Moreover, the government and the community at large, the peoples around the societies, has to educate men. Men has to be educated so as to know that there must be no stereotype, to put off stereotype idea that they created superior to women. Men feel that they are superior than female, but the societies have to educate men so as to make sure that men feel that they are together with women and they can work together. They can share ideas, they can share views, they can they can handle everything in their life. That's why society will be safety in the communities. Another important thing, to establish a social program concerning the improvement of life standard. Life standard has to be improved, especially dealing with those societies, especially in the grassroots there, has to be improved. This social group, like special in the rural area, but also in the urban area. The rural area, sometimes they lack many programs concerning the development. But rural area also has to consider whether the programs of development has to be established. The problem like SACCOs, we can see SACCOs in our societies. We can see also non-governmental organization. In short, we call it NGOs. And another group, CBOs, in the others group. Those group has to consider those area in the development. The group are so helpful because they help to improve the standard of life between in male and also in female. If the female participate in those NGOs or whatever, they can also accommodate their things, what they want in their life. In addition to that, my dear student, to inculcate a sense of awareness. Awareness has to be aware by the peoples and by the societies. All members in the society has to be given aware, aware in many things, so that they can live safety in the communities. They can live with confident and firm in the communities in various ways. Women, for example, in many societies, because they are neglected, because they are isolated, because they are oppressed, has to be informed that they are able person. They are able, and they can handle, they can do whatever they want in the communities, especially those legal issues, and can do everything like men. For example, if men can participate in business, even female also can do it. If male can educate, can have the opportunity to get education, even the female can have these opportunities. Therefore, they have the capabilities of thinking and performing like men. Men are performing, even female also are performing. So all of them have equal right in their communities, in different area, and also in case of development. And our government also tried a lot of things so as to help women to compare men. Another important thing is to improve access in resources, or to resources in many areas. Resources has to be used, accessible or accessible in male and also in female, in both sexes. For example, if there is a loan maybe for men, but also female has to be included in those loans, active loans. Female can do activities by those loans and capital, whatever, but also even the male can have this opportunity to work by using those money. Even banking has to allow female firm to get the grant or to get loan. In Tanzania, many tribes women right to own properties. Women are allowed to have right to own properties, and also have to equal access in natural resources. In other societies, female are not allowed resources in the communities, but only men is allowed to get these opportunities. All of them has to be worked, so as to support those female neglection in the societies. Another one, to improve and increase educational opportunities to women. We can see education maybe in lower level, even in the higher level, such as universities, colleges, or whatever. And the government has to increase opportunity also for female in higher education. Women has to be given equal opportunity as men in terms of education, such as in secondary school, in higher level, whatever, as I've seen there. Here, more emphasis has to be given in tertiary education. In one time, female has given more opportunities, and the men also has having these opportunities in terms of education. Nowadays, a number of women having these opportunities to get higher education without any restriction in our government. So the development of the countries will increase, especially by fighting against ignorance of the people, ignorance and illiteracy. So if you're giving the power of female to get education, that's why the ignorance for a number of women in the society will be avoided, will be diminished as you educate women. So all of things I have mentioned there are so important things, so that we can see those negative cultural aspects are not allowed in the societies. So we believe that if you educate women, you educate the whole societies. It is good and it is believable. Our mother has to be given education as far as men, they are given education. So, my dear student, before ending our lesson, tell me what important things we learned today. My dear student, you heard a lot. You are still silenced to hear what I'm talking about. What important thing do we learn? Can you mention what important things? Who can try? With the best to try. We learn about. Who can tell? Raise up your hand. Who can tell us? Who can tell us what do we learn about? Okay, well, thank you very much. My dear student, we learn about cultural values, or cultural values. We learn about cultural values. Also, we identify and explain the negative aspect of cultural values. We identify and explain the negative cultural values. Are we together? And the last one, we have learned also the way to be taken against negative cultural value in a society. We have seen also the way to undertaken against negative cultural value in our societies. You get my point? All of things are so important in our topic today. My assignment today, you can do this task at your home and with your friends. The first question said that define cultural values. Define cultural values. Define cultural values. The second one, examine 6 strategies against negative cultural values. Examine 6 strategies against negative cultural values. Do you get my point? Okay, let's stop here, my student. Let's stop here. I hope you understand or you understood the lesson very well. You understood? Or you want to remind again? Yes, you understood. You understood very well the lesson today. For further information, my dear student, please revise your civics book, civics books, book 4, in page 6 to page 10. You can see those topics and you can learn a lot. So, my dear student, please read, read, read. You can see your development. Your development is near you. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.